Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed.
Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. The Department of Health announced the detection of 16 new cases of the Delta variant of the virus that causes coronavirus disease, of which 11 were considered as local cases. According to DOH Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere, during an online forum on Friday, July 16, 5 of the 16 cases are returning overseas Filipinos. The 11 local cases, meanwhile, have been detected in northern Mindanao, western Visayas, and the National Capital Region. Vergere said, even while we are vaccinating the Filipino people, minimum public health measures such as physical distancing and masking should not be neglected. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque explained that the National Capital Region was placed under the normal general community quarantine because of the local government unit's improvement in responding to the COVID-19 crisis. Roque made the statement after the President approved the recommendation of the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases to place Metro Manila back to the normal GCQ beginning today, July 16, until the end of the month, despite 7 cities in the region experiencing an uptick in the number of COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, Roque explained why Iloilo City and the province of Iloilo, 2 of the 9 areas placed under the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine or MECQ, were only under the said classification until July 22. Roque said the same principle will apply to Aklan, Bacolod City, Antique, and Capiz, 4 areas that were placed under GCQ with heightened restrictions until July 22. The opening of classes for school year 2021-2022 will be on September 13, as announced by the Department of Education on Friday, July 16. President Duterte has approved the September 13 opening date for the upcoming school year among the options recommended by Education Secretary Leonor Briones. Meanwhile, DepEd said that the school calendar for school year 2021-2022 will also be released soon following the approval of the September 13 school opening date. Following the decision of the President not to allow the conduct of face-to-face classes, it is expected that distance or blended learning will still be implemented for the upcoming school year. However, DepEd remained hopeful that a pilot implementation of limited face-to-face classes in low-risk areas will still be considered by the President. Meanwhile, private schools and non-DepEd public schools are expected to deviate from the approved September 13 school opening date. This after DepEd in June announced that private schools may start their respective school openings as soon as they are ready, provided that there will be no face-to-face classes. Department of Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat urged health facilities to lower the cost of their swab tests to encourage more people to travel and hasten the recovery of the tourism industry from the COVID-19 pandemic. Puyat said a cheaper option will lead to more domestic trips without sacrificing the test before travel requirement of most local government units, as COVID-19 testing remains expensive and out of reach for budget-conscious travelers. Currently, the costs of RT-PCR tests range from 1,500 to 5,000 pesos in some high-end medical facilities, although the IATF has received reports of those charging as high as 10,000 pesos. The tourism chief said she has already appealed to the IATF regarding the possibility of lowering the price cap. The DOT, through the Tourism Promotions Board, partnered last year with the Philippine Children's Children's Medical Center and the Philippine General Hospital to provide subsidized RT-PCR tests for qualified domestic tourists. Under the subsidy program, the Tourism Promotions Board shoulders 50% of the original price charged by the PCMC and the UP-PGH, cutting the fee to only 750 and 900 pesos respectively. Now here is a roundup of news in and outside Metro Manila. Let's watch these reports.
Manila Mayor Francisco Isko Dumagoso highlighted the developments in the city amid the COVID-19 pandemic in his third State of the City address on July 15, Thursday. Dumagoso listed the efforts done by the local government to fight COVID-19 as well as projects to address problems such as poverty, unemployment, and lack of educational materials for hybrid learning. On COVID-19 pandemic response, Dumagoso highlighted the almost 1 million vaccines deployment in the city, the procurement of equipment needed for the city's 6th district hospital, and the construction of vaccine storage facility at Santa Ana Hospital and the COVID-19 field hospital. More than 692,000 families in 896 barangays in the city have received food boxes in the span of 6 months. Dumagoso reported 11,630 Manileños were provided with jobs through the city's Public Employment Services Office. Enrollment in the city's public school and state universities have increased. The mayor said the city continues to put ease to requirements and make it easy for businessmen to develop their projects in the city. The Quezon City government has formed a task group in preparation for the possible surge of new COVID-19 infections that may come following the rise of the new Delta variant. The local government made the move even if its positivity rate has already declined to 5%, which is a rate set by the World Health Organization at which infections are less likely to occur. Under Executive Order Number 15 issued by Joy Belmonte, the task group called Delta Variant Task Force has identified key areas to concentrate on its terms of preventing the possible rise of COVID-19 infections. The local government will remain vigilant through its extensive testing and aggressive contact tracing. The Pasig City local government, together with other government officials, inaugurated its COVID-19 step-down care facility for COVID-19 patients who are scheduled to be discharged last Wednesday, July 14. Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto said that the facility will serve as a monitoring facility for recovered COVID-19 patients before they can be discharged to prevent overcrowding in the city's hospital and COVID-19 referral centers. The local chief said the 18-bed capacity step-down facility project was built in partnership with the Department of Public Works and Highways.
Now let's take a look at the latest news in other parts of the country, and here are the details.
The Department of Health Regional Office in Bicol has advised local government units to monitor the possible illegal selling of COVID-19 vaccines in their localities. The agency said it received a report on an individual soliciting 50 pesos per person for COVID-19 vaccination. It also reminded the public that all COVID-19 vaccines are administered free of charge to eligible individuals under the government's inoculation program. Meanwhile, another batch of 4,840 vials of AstraZeneca vaccine arrived on Thursday at the Legazpi Domestic Airport. Once again, 3 tourists have entered the world-famous Boracay Island in Malay Town, Aklan Province with fake COVID-19 test results. The 3 tourists caught on Wednesday, July 14 were all from Cavite City and were identified as 64-year-old Benjamin Pastrana, 56-year-old Marichu Pastrana, and 55-year-old Luisa Mingi. The trio was taken to Calibo, the provincial capital of Aklan, where there is a quarantine facility. They will face charges of violating Republic Act No. 1332 or the Mandatory Reporting of Notifiable Diseases and Health Events of Public Health Concern Act. The police regional office in the region urged Boracay-bound tourists to follow proper protocols. Education scholars of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao have started receiving their scholarship benefits of 30,000 pesos each to cover school expenses for the academic year 2020-2021. An initial 242 scholars under the Access to Higher and Modern Education or AHME scholarship program have claimed the second tranche of their benefits under the package. Overall, a total of 1,298 AHME scholars in the BIRMM are entitled to receive 60,000 pesos annually. Launched in 2019, the scholarship program was aimed at promoting quality education to Bangsamoro student scholars and eradicating poverty through the rightful educational system approach.
And now for the updates from around the world, here is that report.
The World Health Organization warned Thursday that more dangerous variants of COVID-19 could tear across the world as global infections soared to 500,000 daily, largely driven by the virulent Delta strain. An AFP tally of official sources found that after an initial dip, cases have been rising again worldwide since the end of June, topping 540,000 on Tuesday and again on Wednesday. The virus has reappeared in places long believed to have dodged the worst of the pandemic, with Australia lauded for its successful COVID-0 strategy facing resurgence that has grown to almost 1,000 cases nationwide in a month. Wearing face masks in indoor public establishments will once again be mandatory in Los Angeles starting this weekend due to the steady increase in COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations according to health authorities. Los Angeles is the first large U.S. metropolis to impose the use of face masks starting this midnight Saturday regardless of vaccination status in shops, grocery stores, restaurants, and workplaces to help contain the pandemic. The vast majority of people testing positive for COVID-19, some of whom must be hospitalized, have not been vaccinated. 3 more Thai islands opened to vaccinated foreign tourists on Thursday despite a nationwide surge in COVID-19 cases propelled by the Delta variant. The island Samui, Tao, and Phangan welcome visitors as part of the kingdom's push to revive its battered tourism industry. Thailand launched its Sunbox scheme on July 1, allowing vaccinated travelers to visit Phuket Island. Tourists do not have to quarantine in a hotel but cannot leave Phuket for 2 weeks. Under Thursday expansion, tourists must stay at an approved hotel on Samui for a week and can leave their accommodation on a day 4. They will have to produce a negative COVID-19 test before being allowed to venture to Tao or Phangan after their first week.
For the latest in showbiz, let's watch this.
Sports Illustrated Swimsuit made a statement with an inclusive runway show featuring women of diverse body types, ages, and races. Known for its sexy swimsuit issues, the magazine showed off plus-size models, moms, and entrepreneurs at a poolside catwalk at the luxury Mondrian Hotel on South Beach last Saturday, July 10. According to the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit, they want the runway show to change the conversation around beauty and boost body positivity. The Sports Illustrated Swimsuit continues to redefine the cultural conversation around beauty by celebrating a diverse group of women who include professional athletes, entrepreneurs, models, mothers, rookies, and swim search contestants. The runway show also previewed the 2021 Sports Illustrated Swimsuit issue, which hit stands on July 19.
And here are the latest news from Manila Bulletin's sports section. Let's check this out.
The government has allowed 2 major sports tournaments in the country but is subject to strict health regulations against the spread of COVID-19. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque announced that the IATF has allowed the Philippine Basketball Association to open its 46th season as well as the country's hosting of the 21st Asian Seniors Women's Volleyball Championship. The PBA is set to begin its closed-circuit 46th season today, July 16, at the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig City following months of delay due to the pandemic threat. Roque reminded the tournaments that they must follow health and safety protocols to prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
And those are the news on web today, July 16, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of the Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow. Or you can log on to www.mb.com.ph, or you may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin. Join us again on Monday. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.